This is part one of the structure of a PF round lecture series. I am Gus Gerlach, and in this video we're going to talk about the first half of the debate round, what speeches that entails, general strategies, and just a more general breakdown of how a public forum round normally goes. So let's first talk about the constructive speech. The speech is a 4-minute speech given by the first speakers of each team. And the speaking order is generally determined by the coin flip at the start of the round. So normally at most tournaments, you will flip a coin, and then whichever team wins the coin toss can either choose to speak second or first, or they can choose what side they want. And then whatever they choose, the team who lost the coin flip, they get to choose the rest. So if the other team chose side, they get to choose order. Or if the other team chose order, they can choose side. The constructive is important because you present your initial arguments for your side of the resolution. These are typically called contentions, and we normally read about 1 to 3 of these in a normal PF round. And there's some advanced strategies in constructive, such as changing your case to better fit the first constructive, or responding to the first constructive in second constructive. These are not very typical, though. I wouldn't worry about these right now. I don't think you will see this. I don't think public forum is at the point where people will be responding to first constructive and second constructive yet, but maybe eventually. So after we've both read case, we've got first crossfire. First crossfire is a back and forth questioning period between the first speakers of each team. And normally the first speaking team will get the first question, just because they spoke first, so they also will speak first in the crossfire. This lasts 3 minutes. And first crossfire is used for clarification. So these are the purposes. We either use it to get clarification on our opponent's arguments, like if they said something we don't understand, we can have them explain it to us, because in order to respond to something, we need to understand it. We can get concessions, such as like poking logical holes in our opponent's argument, getting them to concede their evidence isn't that great, other sort of rebuttal responses. Or we can set up our partner for rebuttal, sort of like, well, what would logically happen if we do this? And then our partner would read a turn that's based off that question in cross, and then can sort of call back to first crossfire, saying things like, remember what my partner said in first cross, and then read the response. It sort of adds emphasis to that argument then. So we are done with the crossfires. Now we got the rebuttal speeches, which is the first of which is the first rebuttal. And this is a 4-minute speech given by the second speaker from the first speaking team. The point is to address the second constructive in its entirety. And so you should avoid moving back to your side in first rebuttal. Judges just heard your case. Your opponent hasn't responded to your case yet. And this speech is specifically designed for you to refute your opponent's arguments. So moving back to your side is just like not strategic and doesn't help you in any way. You're not adding anything to your case, basically. Second rebuttal immediately precedes first rebuttal. It's also a 4-minute speech given by the second speaker of the second speaking team. And generally in the second rebuttal, your goal is to respond to your opponent's rebuttal. So we call this frontlining, when you are responding to what your opponent just said in the preceding speech, and also address your opponent's case. Frontlining, the act of responding to your opponent's rebuttal, is what differentiates the second rebuttal from the first rebuttal. So because first rebuttal hasn't heard a refutation to their case yet, they can't frontline, but second rebuttal has, so they should be frontlining. Next we got second crossfire, which is a 3-minute questioning period between the second speakers of each team. And this is important just to ask for clarification on any arguments made in rebuttal. So we can't give a summary speech responding to these arguments if we don't understand what they mean. And you can also use this time to poke holes in your opponent's rebuttal, similar to first cross. Summary is going to have to respond to arguments made in rebuttal. So therefore, poking holes in it can help set you up for later. So this is conclusion. This is the end of the first half. The first half of the round consists, therefore, of the constructive, first crossfire, rebuttals, and second crossfire. And the goal is to introduce a lot of complete, well-warranted arguments to increase our strategic versatility in the second half, which is what the next video is going to talk about. Thanks so much for watching.